The Psychology of a Pedia-file. Most people think the hardest question is why someone commits one of the worst crimes imaginable. It isn't. The harder question is, how does someone keep doing it while convincing themselves they're not the villain? Jeffrey Epstein became one of the most infamous examples of this question. Not because he was a disgusting human being, but because his case showed how someone could appear successful, respected, and trustworthy while hiding a very different reality. The disturbing part isn't that he was different from everyone else. It's that, on the surface, he often didn't look different at all. That's one of the first psychological traps. Our brains expect dangerous people to look dangerous. Reality rarely cooperates. Another pattern researchers have observed is rationalization. Human beings naturally justify their own behavior. Most of us use excuses for harmless things. I'll start tomorrow. I didn't have a choice. For a pedophile, that same mental process becomes something far more dangerous. Instead of changing what they do, they change how they explain it to themselves. The facts stay the same. The story changes. Psychologists call these distorted beliefs. They're not reality. They're mental shortcuts that protect a person's self-image from the truth. Another important pattern is entitlement. Most people recognize that some boundaries are absolute. But people like Epstein gradually convinces themselves those boundaries somehow don't apply to them. Their own desires become more important than another person's safety. Once that belief becomes normal, every new decision becomes easier to justify than the last. Then there's manipulation. This isn't just lying, it's carefully shaping how other people see you. Many notorious offenders spend years building an image of trustworthiness. That image creates opportunity. Opportunity creates access. Access allows the abuse to remain hidden. Cases like Jeffrey Epstein's showed how influence, money, and social status can make people less willing to question someone they assume is respectable. Perhaps the most unsettling lesson is that there is no single personality profile. Some offenders appear isolated, others appear charismatic. Some have long criminal histories. Others spend years avoiding suspicion. That's why psychology doesn't rely on appearances. It looks at patterns of thinking and behavior instead. It's also important to separate explanation from excuse. Understanding the psychology behind these crimes is not about creating sympathy. It's about understanding the warning signs, recognizing manipulation, and protecting potential victims. So, what's the psychology of a pedophile? There isn't one simple answer. Research points to a combination of distorted thinking, entitlement, manipulation, impaired empathy, and a willingness to place personal desires above another person's safety. Understanding those patterns doesn't erase responsibility. If anything, it reminds us that the greatest danger isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's someone who has become so skilled at justifying the unjustifiable that they no longer see reality the way everyone else does. And that's exactly why understanding the psychology matters. Not to excuse the behavior, but to recognize it sooner and prevent more harm.